Welcome, high-value men. Have you ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly attract women while others struggle endlessly? Here's the truth. Women only obsess over men they go emotionally weak for. This isn't a vague guess, it's a fundamental truth rooted deep in human nature. And today, I'm here to show you exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how you can use this understanding to transform the way women see you. Let me clarify something up front. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. What I'm about to share is about understanding the psychology of female desire and using that knowledge to become the kind of man women naturally crave. Imagine no longer chasing, no longer overthinking every text or interaction, and no longer wondering why the spark always seems to fade. Instead, picture yourself as the man she can't stop thinking about, the man she feels emotionally drawn to on a primal level. That's what we're here to achieve. Let's start with a simple truth. Women don't fall for men they can control or predict. They fall for men who keep them intrigued, men who challenge them emotionally. Certainty kills attraction. When a woman knows exactly how you feel and feels she has full control over the dynamic, her interest begins to fade. This is why being overly available, constantly texting, or always accommodating might seem like the nice thing to do, but it's also the fastest way to lose her attention. Now, contrast this with the kind of man who stands out. He's calm, composed, and unshaken by her beauty or her attempts to test him. He doesn't seek her validation because he knows his worth. This man isn't rude or dismissive. He simply exudes a quiet confidence that commands respect. Women crave this kind of energy. They don't want a man they can dominate. They want a man they can admire. So what will you gain from this video? By the time we're done, you'll understand why women go emotionally weak for certain men and how you can embody those traits. You'll learn the key psychological triggers that create deep, lasting attraction. This isn't about quick tricks or surface-level tactics. It's about transforming your mindset and becoming the kind of man who doesn't chase but attracts effortlessly. A man who naturally commands respect and admiration without even trying. Before we dive in, I want to remind you to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Rule. Your support helps us continue to bring you powerful insights into relationships, personal growth, and Stoicism. Now, let's dive into the psychology of why women only obsess over men they go weak for. Stick with me. This will change the way you see relationships forever. Let's start with understanding what it means for a woman to go emotionally weak for a man. Emotional weakness doesn't mean being submissive or powerless. In this context, it means she feels vulnerable in your presence. It's that sense of uncertainty that sparks her desire to chase you. This might go against everything you've been taught about relationships, but here's the reality. Women don't want to feel they've fully figured you out. They want to feel a level of unpredictability, a sense that you're a challenge worth pursuing. Now let's talk about hypergamy. This is the innate instinct that drives women to seek men they perceive as being above them in value. Hypergamy isn't a bad thing. It's a fundamental part of human nature. Women are biologically wired to seek out partners who can elevate their status, provide stability, and bring excitement into their lives. This doesn't mean you need to be a billionaire or a superstar to be desirable. What matters is how you present yourself and whether she perceives you as someone she can look up to. Here's where many men go wrong. They think attraction is about looks, money, or status. And while those things can help, they are not the deciding factors. What truly captivates a woman is a man's ability to maintain emotional leverage. Emotional leverage is the dynamic where she feels more invested in you than you are in her. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being so secure in your own value that you don't feel the need to prove yourself to her constantly. Imagine a man who is always chasing, always seeking her validation, always trying to prove he's good enough. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but over time, it becomes predictable. There's no excitement, no challenge. She knows exactly where she stands with him, and that certainty kills attraction. On the flip side, think about a man who is calm and unshaken by her beauty or her attempts to test him. He doesn't respond emotionally to every little thing she does. This man exudes a quiet confidence that is magnetic. He's the man women obsess over. Why? Because he keeps her guessing. He doesn't give away his feelings too easily. He doesn't chase. He doesn't over-communicate or constantly check in. And this drives her curiosity. She starts to wonder, does he like me as much as I like him? What's he thinking? How do I get closer to him? This psychological dynamic is what creates a sense of emotional weakness in her. It's the feeling that she needs to win you over, not the other way around. Let's break this down further. Women only go emotionally weak for men they perceive as high value. And being high value isn't just about external achievements, it's about how you carry yourself. A high value man is someone who doesn't need a woman to complete him. He's secure in his own life, his own goals, and his own worth. When a woman meets a man like this, she feels a sense of admiration and respect. She wants to be a part of his world, not because he's begging her to be, but because she feels she needs to earn her place there. Here's the irony. The less you need her, the more she wants you. When you're indifferent to her beauty or her attempts to gain your attention, you stand out from the crowd. Most men are too eager to please. They're too quick to validate her or accommodate her every whim. But the man who can remain calm, composed, and unbothered, he's the one who sparks her deepest desires. Let's talk about hypergamy again, because this concept is crucial. Hypergamy isn't about material wealth or physical attractiveness. It's about emotional status. A woman wants to feel like she's winning when she's with you. She wants to feel like you're the prize. When you maintain emotional leverage, you signal to her that you're a man of value, a man she can look up to. And here's the key. This has nothing to do with arrogance or being dismissive. It's about carrying yourself in a way that shows you're confident and secure, regardless of her reactions. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a date and she starts testing you. Maybe she makes a comment about your outfit or subtly questions your choices. Most men would either get defensive or try to over-explain themselves. But a high-value man doesn't fall for these traps. He simply smiles and moves on, unfazed. His lack of emotional reaction shows her that he's not easily shaken. And this, in turn, makes her respect him more. Another critical point is the role of uncertainty in attraction. Certainty kills attraction. When a woman knows exactly how you feel about her and when she feels like she has complete control over the dynamic, her interest begins to fade. On the other hand, when there's a sense of unpredictability, her mind becomes consumed with thoughts of you. She starts to wonder, what's he thinking? Does he feel the same way? How can I get closer to him? This psychological tension is what keeps her hooked. This doesn't mean you should play games or intentionally confuse her. It means maintaining a sense of mystery and independence. Don't be the guy who's always available, always texting, always accommodating. Be the man who has his own life, his own goals, and his own standards. When you do this, she'll naturally start to invest more in the relationship because she values what's not easily obtained. Let's summarize this part. Women go emotionally weak for men who challenge them, who keep them intrigued, and who maintain their own emotional independence. It's not about being manipulative, it's about being authentic and confident in who you are. By understanding and applying these principles, you'll not only attract women, but also command their respect and admiration on a deeper level. Now that we understand what makes a woman go emotionally weak for a man, let's address the common mistakes that prevent most men from achieving this. These mistakes are subtle but powerful, and if you're not aware of them, they can completely derail any chance you have of maintaining emotional leverage. 1. Being too predictable. Women crave excitement and mystery. When you're too predictable, you eliminate the challenge that keeps her intrigued. For example, if you're the kind of man who texts her good morning and good night every single day without fail, she'll quickly grow bored. While these gestures might seem sweet, they also signal that you're predictable and that she has already figured you out. The lack of surprise kills attraction. Instead, keep her guessing. Don't always respond immediately and don't always initiate contact. Let her wonder what you're up to. 2. Being overly needy. Nothing turns a woman off faster than a man who seems desperate for her attention. Neediness comes across in many ways, constantly asking for reassurance, always being available at her beck and call, or excessively complimenting her in an attempt to win her approval. While it's natural to want to show affection, Overdoing it signals that you're placing her on a pedestal. Women don't want to feel like they're better than you. They want to admire you. A man who is secure in himself doesn't need constant validation, and that's what makes him attractive. Number 3, putting too much focus on external traits. Many men believe that women are solely attracted to looks, money, or status. While these things can catch her attention, they won't keep her emotionally invested. A man with wealth but no confidence or emotional strength will still lose her respect. Women are drawn to the way a man carries himself, how he handles challenges, and how he makes her feel. If you rely solely on external traits, you'll eventually find yourself in a one-dimensional relationship that lacks depth. Why these mistakes are so common? These mistakes often stem from societal conditioning. From a young age, men are taught to be the nice guy, to always cater to women, and to prioritize their needs above their own. Movies, TV shows, and even advice from well-meaning friends reinforce the idea that women want a man who showers them with attention and affection. But here's the harsh truth. Women don't respect men who sacrifice their own value to win approval. For example, think about the stereotypical rom-com hero, the guy who chases after the girl, apologizes profusely, and does everything in his power to win her back. While this might make for an entertaining movie, it rarely works in real life. In reality, women are more attracted to men who stand their ground, who have their own lives, and who don't compromise their standards just to please someone else. How to avoid these mistakes? Now that you know what not to do, let's talk about how to correct these behaviors and start moving in the right direction. 1. Embrace unpredictability. Being unpredictable doesn't mean playing games. It means being genuine and living your life with purpose. For instance, instead of always texting her at the same time every day, focus on your own activities and let communication happen naturally. When you're not constantly available, she'll start to value the time she spends with you even more. 2. Develop emotional independence. Emotional independence means you're happy and fulfilled regardless of whether she's in your life. This doesn't mean you don't care about her. It means you don't depend on her for your sense of self-worth. A man who is emotionally independent doesn't crumble under pressure or seek constant reassurance. He knows who he is and what he brings to the table, and that confidence is irresistible. 3. Focus on internal value. Rather than trying to impress her with material possessions or physical appearance, work on developing qualities that truly matter: confidence, resilience, and emotional intelligence. These traits are what make a man stand out. When you exude inner strength, it creates a magnetic pull that no amount of money or superficial charm can replicate. The bottom line: mistakes like being too predictable, overly needy, or relying on external traits can be costly, but they're entirely avoidable. By understanding why these behaviors push women away and replacing them with actions that demonstrate confidence and independence, you'll set yourself apart as a high-value man. Remember, it's not about changing who you are. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Now that we've discussed the mistakes to avoid, let's dive into the strategies that make women emotionally weak for men. These aren't tricks or gimmicks. They're rooted in psychology and the way women naturally respond to emotional dynamics. If you can master these, you'll not only stand out, but also create a connection that she finds irresistible. 1. Create uncertainty. Certainty kills attraction. When a woman knows exactly where she stands with you, the dynamic loses its spark. On the other hand, uncertainty keeps her intrigued. This doesn't mean playing mind games or being dishonest. It means not laying all your cards on the table from the start. For example, don't be overly quick to express your feelings or commit too early in the relationship. Allow things to unfold naturally. When you're slightly unpredictable, she'll spend more time thinking about you, wondering what you're feeling, and wanting to be closer to you. This psychological tension is what creates emotional vulnerability. 2. Embrace the fear of loss. Fear of loss is one of the most powerful motivators in human psychology. For women, this means the idea that they could lose you sparks a deeper emotional connection. But here's the key: it only works if she perceives you as a high-value man. To create this dynamic, you need to live your life with purpose and independence. Don't center your world around her. When she sees that you have a fulfilling life outside of the relationship, she'll start to value your time and presence even more. This isn't about being distant or cold. It's about showing that you're not reliant on her for your happiness. 3. Lead with confidence. Confidence is magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to men who know their worth and aren't afraid to show it. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's a quiet assurance that you're capable, strong, and secure in who you are. You demonstrate confidence through your actions, your words, and your demeanor. For example, when you're on a date, be decisive. Choose where to go, make the plans, and take the lead. Women admire men who can take charge because it shows that you're not afraid to step up and take responsibility. 4. Maintain your mystery. Mystery keeps her intrigued. When she doesn't know everything about you, she's naturally more curious. This doesn't mean being secretive or withholding important information. It means not oversharing or being too available. For instance, instead of texting her all day, focus on your own goals and let her wonder what you're up to. When you're not constantly accessible, she'll start to value the time and attention you do give her. This dynamic makes her feel like she's earning your interest, which deepens her emotional connection. Number 5. Be emotionally independent. Emotional independence is a cornerstone of high-value masculinity. It means you're in control of your own emotions and don't rely on external validation to feel secure. Women find this incredibly attractive because it shows that you're stable and reliable. To cultivate emotional independence, focus on your personal growth and passions. Whether it's your career, hobbies, or fitness, make these priorities in your life. When a woman sees that you have your own purpose and direction, she'll naturally respect and admire you more. 6. Use subtle challenges. Women love a man who can challenge them in subtle ways. This doesn't mean being combative or argumentative. It means holding your ground and setting boundaries when necessary. For example, if she says something you disagree with, don't be afraid to voice your opinion. If she tests you by showing up late or being disrespectful, call her out on it calmly but firmly. Women respect men who stand their ground because it shows strength and self-respect. 7. Show, don't tell. Actions speak louder than words. Instead of constantly telling her how much you care or trying to convince her of your value, let your actions do the talking. For instance, if you're confident, you don't need to say, "I'm confident." It will show in the way you carry yourself. If you're independent, she'll notice that you have a life outside of her without you needing to explain it. Women are incredibly perceptive and they pick up on these subtle cues. 8. Balance affection with space. One of the most effective ways to create emotional tension is to balance affection with space. If you're always affectionate and available, it becomes predictable. But when you balance those moments of closeness with moments where you're focused on your own life, it creates a dynamic where she's constantly wanting more. For example, after an amazing date, don't immediately plan the next one. Let some time pass and let her miss you. This isn't about manipulation, it's about maintaining a healthy balance in the relationship. Why these strategies work? These strategies work because they align with the way women are wired. Women are drawn to men who challenge them emotionally and intellectually. They want a man they can respect, admire, and look up to. When you embody these traits, you naturally create a dynamic where she feels emotionally invested in you. What's important to remember is that these strategies aren't about being someone you're not. They're about becoming the best version of yourself, a man who is confident, independent, and secure in his own worth. When you focus on these qualities, you won't need to chase women. They'll be drawn to you naturally. Understanding how to make a woman go weak for you emotionally is only part of the equation. The other side of this is knowing what happens when you lose emotional leverage. And trust me, the consequences are significant. Many men enter relationships strong, confident, and secure, but over time, they begin to lose their edge. They become too predictable, too available, or too emotionally attached. When this happens, the dynamic shifts and the attraction fades. Let's start with the first and most immediate consequence. She becomes distant. A woman's interest isn't something you can take for granted. It's dynamic, ever-changing, and deeply tied to how she perceives your value. The moment she senses that you've become too attached or emotionally dependent on her, her behavior changes. She may stop texting as often, become less enthusiastic about spending time together, or even cancel plans. This isn't because she's intentionally trying to hurt you, it's because her attraction to you is waning. Another clear sign of losing emotional leverage is sexual withdrawal. In the beginning, the chemistry might have been electric. She couldn't get enough of you, and the passion was undeniable. But when a man loses his emotional independence, it sends a subconscious signal to the woman that he's no longer the high-value man she admired. Sexual attraction diminishes because, biologically, a woman is drawn to strength, confidence, and leadership. When those qualities fade, so does her desire. One of the most painful consequences is when she starts testing you harder. Women test men to see if they're emotionally strong and capable of leading the relationship. When you start to fail these tests, by being overly accommodating, reacting emotionally, or seeking her approval, she begins to lose respect. These tests might come in the form of snide comments, nagging, or even pulling back emotionally to see how you react. If you crumble under these pressures, it only reinforces her belief that you're not the man she thought you were. In the worst-case scenario, she starts looking elsewhere. This doesn't mean she's immediately cheating or seeking out someone new, but it does mean that her mind begins to wander. She might start fantasizing about what it would be like to be with someone who embodies the traits you've lost. And if she feels like she's settling in the relationship, it's only a matter of time before she begins to emotionally detach. How to maintain emotional leverage? The good news is that losing emotional leverage isn't permanent. If you recognize these patterns early enough, you can take steps to regain your position as the high-value man she admires and respects. It starts with understanding that emotional leverage isn't about controlling her. It's about controlling yourself. The first step is reclaiming your independence. If you've centered your world around her, it's time to refocus on your own life. What are your goals, passions, and priorities outside of the relationship? When you have a life that's fulfilling and exciting, it naturally makes you more attractive. She'll see that you're not reliant on her for your happiness, which shifts the dynamic back in your favor. Next, stop over-communicating. This is one of the easiest ways to regain a sense of mystery. If you're constantly texting her or checking in, it signals that you're too available and too invested. Instead, take a step back. Allow her to reach out to you first. When you do communicate, keep it short, direct, and confident. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means valuing your time and energy. Another important step is to reestablish your boundaries. If she's testing you or pushing the limits, don't be afraid to stand your ground. For example, if she's disrespectful or dismissive, calmly but firmly let her know that it's unacceptable. This shows that you value yourself and won't tolerate behavior that undermines the relationship. Women respect men who have standards and aren't afraid to enforce them. Finally, focus on your personal growth. High-value men are constantly evolving. Whether it's improving your career, fitness, or emotional intelligence, always strive to be the best version of yourself. When a woman sees that you're ambitious and driven, it reignites her admiration and respect. Remember, attraction isn't static. It needs to be nurtured and maintained. Why this matters? Maintaining emotional leverage isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate her feelings. It's about ensuring that the relationship remains balanced and healthy. When you're confident, independent, and secure, you create a dynamic where she feels safe, respected, and deeply connected to you. This isn't just beneficial for her. It's beneficial for you. A balanced relationship allows both partners to thrive and grow together. The truth is, women want to admire and respect the men they're with. They want to feel like they're with someone who can lead, inspire, and challenge them. By maintaining your emotional leverage, you ensure that the relationship remains exciting, fulfilling, and deeply satisfying for both of you. Now that we've covered the theory, let's explore how this plays out in real-life situations and how you can apply these principles seamlessly. Imagine this. You've been dating a woman for a few weeks, and she texts you every morning. You've gotten into the habit of replying instantly, thinking it shows your interest. While this might feel polite and caring, it creates predictability. She knows exactly what to expect, and there's no room for mystery. Instead, consider this. The next time she texts, take your time to respond. Focus on your own priorities first, and when you reply, keep it concise and confident. For example, instead of a detailed explanation of your morning, simply say, "Hey, just got out of a meeting. How's your day going?" This subtle shift signals that your time is valuable and you're not waiting around for her texts. Another common scenario is during a date when she makes a comment that feels dismissive or disrespectful, such as teasing your choices or questioning your opinions. Many men might laugh it off or try to justify themselves, but this often backfires. A better approach is to calmly address the situation with confidence. You could say something like, "That's an interesting perspective, but I'm confident in my choices." This response is firm but respectful, showing that you're not easily swayed by her remarks. Women respect men who stand their ground without becoming defensive. Now imagine you've just had a fantastic date and everything went perfectly. The natural instinct might be to immediately text her afterward, expressing how much you enjoyed the evening and planning the next one. While this might seem thoughtful, it can come across as overly eager. Instead, give her some space to reflect on the experience. Let her miss you and think about the connection. When you do reach out, keep it light and confident, such as, "Last night was fun. Let's catch up soon." This approach maintains a sense of anticipation and keeps the dynamic exciting. To maintain emotional leverage in any relationship, prioritizing your purpose is essential. Your goals, passions, and ambitions should always come first. This doesn't mean ignoring her or neglecting the relationship. It means showing her that you have a fulfilling life outside of her. When a woman sees that you're driven and focused on your own growth, it naturally deepens her admiration and respect for you. For instance, if you're passionate about a particular hobby, career goal, or project, make time for it and share it if she asks, but don't seek her approval. Your communication also plays a significant role. Avoid excessive texting, oversharing, or always being the one to initiate conversations. Instead, let communication flow naturally and keep it balanced. If she sends you a message, don't feel obligated to reply instantly unless it's truly urgent. Take your time, and when you do respond, keep it confident and to the point. This shows that you value your time and hers, signaling that you're not overly reliant on her attention. Women will test you. It's part of their nature. These tests aren't meant to frustrate you, but to gauge your emotional strength and reliability. For example, if she cancels plans last minute, don't react emotionally or try to convince her to reschedule immediately. Instead, respond calmly and confidently with something like, "No problem, let me know when you're free and we'll figure something out." This shows that you're unbothered by the situation and secure in your value. Emotional control is another cornerstone of maintaining leverage. Women are highly perceptive and can quickly pick up on emotional reactivity. If something she says or does upsets you, take a moment to pause and assess whether it's worth addressing or simply a test. Staying calm and composed in these situations demonstrates maturity and emotional independence, which are incredibly attractive traits. Lastly, leading the dynamic is key. Women want to be with a man who can take charge and make decisions confidently. For instance, when planning a date, don't ask her what she wants to do or where she wants to go. Instead, make the plans and present them confidently, such as, "I thought about this new Italian place on Friday. I'll pick you up at 7. This level of leadership shows that you're capable of taking responsibility, which is both reassuring and appealing. When you consistently apply these principles, you'll notice a dramatic shift in how women respond to you. They'll see you as a man who is confident, independent, and secure in his own value, a high-value man. This transformation isn't just about attracting women, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. A man who doesn't chase but attracts, who commands respect without demanding it, and who lives life on his own terms. How to sustain long-term attraction. Once you've established emotional leverage and built a strong connection, the real challenge begins, maintaining that attraction over the long term. Many men start relationships strong, exuding confidence and independence, only to gradually lose their edge as time goes on. The secret to sustaining attraction isn't complicated. It's about consistently showing up as the high-value man she admired from the start. The first key is to maintain your individuality. Even in a long-term relationship, never lose sight of who you are and what you stand for. Women are drawn to men with purpose, and that doesn't change just because you've been together for months or years. Keep pursuing your goals, investing in your passions, and growing as an individual. When she sees that you're continuously evolving, it reignites her respect and admiration. Another essential factor is keeping the relationship dynamic alive. This means balancing moments of closeness with moments of independence. Too much predictability can lead to stagnation, while a healthy balance keeps things exciting. For example, surprise her with something unexpected, a spontaneous trip, a thoughtful gesture, or simply a change in your routine. At the same time, ensure you both have time apart to focus on your own lives. This creates space for her to miss you and keeps the emotional tension alive. Emotional control remains crucial in long-term relationships. As time goes on, you'll face challenges and tests from your partner. These aren't meant to undermine you. They're a natural part of maintaining a dynamic connection. How you handle these moments defines the course of the relationship. Stay calm, composed, and focused on solutions rather than reacting emotionally. This stability reinforces your role as a leader in the relationship and strengthens her trust in you. One of the most overlooked aspects of sustaining attraction is communication. The way you communicate can either strengthen or weaken the connection. Always be clear, direct, and confident in your words. Avoid over-explaining or seeking her approval in every decision. Instead, express your thoughts and feelings with conviction. For example, if there's a disagreement, don't shy away from addressing it. Approach the situation with empathy and firmness, showing her that you're both understanding and resolute. Finally, never stop being the man she fell for. The qualities that attracted her in the beginning, your confidence, independence, and drive, should remain consistent throughout the relationship. This doesn't mean staying the same forever. It means evolving while staying true to your core values. When you continue to embody these traits, she'll continue to see you as the high-value man she admires. Conclusion: attraction isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. It's built on a foundation of emotional leverage, maintained through confidence, independence, and purpose, and strengthened by the way you navigate challenges and grow over time. Women only obsess over men they go weak for emotionally, and now you understand why. By applying what you've learned, you'll not only transform your relationships but also your own sense of self-worth. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. A man who doesn't need to chase but naturally attracts. A man who commands respect without demanding it. A man who inspires others through his actions and character. As you move forward, remember this: the journey to becoming a high-value man doesn't end. It's a continuous process of growth and self-improvement. The more you invest in yourself, the more magnetic you become, not just to women, but to everyone around you. If you found this content valuable, take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Rule. Together, we're building a community of men who lead with confidence, purpose, and integrity. Stay tuned for more insights, and as always, keep striving to be the best version of yourself. You've got this.